Okay, welcome back to this section of the video. I'm going to just make this real quick from where I'm at. Kind of got to give me a break a little bit. I had neck and nerve block injection into my neck, and yeah, I'm out here doing this, so sure, everything will go well. But yeah, look at this. I finally got my my boring head installed. It's just a 2-inch because I figured, why do I need something bigger? Because I can only put so much size on here. And if I need something bigger, I still have the arbor, because I found out the arbor that I got with this, I could just buy the 3 or the 4-inch head. And I could actually go pretty dang wide by putting a bit out sideways if I needed to do big hole or something. So I think this will do the best for me. So again, what I'm doing here is, the earlier part of the video saw me cutting that down. I measured, and I have 1 inch 0.124, and this is sort of oval. Now the wider part is about 7 thousandths low, and this is about 100 thousandths because it's been oval in this way. So I'm just making light cuts. This is actually my first thing here, so I'm just giving this a slight skim cut. You know, I'm just trying everything out. This is the first time I run a boring head. So I thought about using a hone, but I'm like, well, why don't I get it this for the aluminum like this? And, you know, I've been wanting a boring head, so this is how it is. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shoot for doing probably engines with the bearings, you know, for expansion. I don't think, well, it does compress air, so that does get a little bit warm. My targets I'm going to try to do for 3 thousandths over clearance. This doesn't have bearings in it. I really don't know what it's supposed to be, but I'm going to go on the low side because I think depending on applications of engines, race engine stuff, 3 to 5 I think is normal. Sometimes they might go a little bit higher, but I'm going to go for the low side of that because this doesn't have bearings and it has a different kind of oil, whatever, and it doesn't turn as many RPMs and sees as much stress like that. I'm going to go for 3 thousandths, but I've got to make it round first, so here we go. So I'm not even sure the best RPM to run this, because I don't want to cause too much of a wobble. These are off-centered. I could probably still go faster than this. I was already just barely starting to test this just before I got in here, because, yeah. Sometimes it's better to just test things before you cuss on your video and make yourself look stupider, because we're all not infallible. We all make mistakes, but we want to make our mistakes look the most glorious, I suppose. Not too awful stupid. Let's see what is floating on this other side here. Not right into it. See, this machine. So I'm just gonna try to take it easy, and I think I can do okay with this. I'm just slowly turning. I have this dial for the quill. If you're not familiar with this particular model, I'm sure anybody who's got the G0704 will know what I'm talking about. I'm just running my the quill. It's like a drill quill, but it does have a fine feed, and I'm just turning the knob right above on the front here. This is not a knee mill, it's a benchtop mill, I think what they consider it to be. Too light of a skin cut, but that's okay. I'm trying to see how it's going to turn out. I'm just going to follow through. I hate it stopping a cut unless I'm going to overcut it, which I am, but should have been in the middle. Now if I'm going at a little bit of faster speed with the RPM, I should be able to do this, because I don't think I'm too fast where I should cause a wobble problem. But oh yeah, I had a hell of a time trying to figure out how to mount this sucker. I think I mentioned in the first part of the video. This is like another day, but I'm going to splice these videos together. But I had to flip it on this side. I had it the other way, and I was trying to get it to, you know, both forward and back, left and right. And on the hole right here is where I was running a test indicator to try to match it up with this side. and I had to flip it around and do some other stuff. I actually have underneath it here, I'm still feeding this down while I'm talking. You can kind of hear it trying to skim cut a little bit. But I have a T-nut, ended up being the right width and everything underneath. And that way I can put the downward pressure and keep everything locked up in the vise. But I couldn't get the vise lower on this end, so I actually had to swap ends. And it's okay. This vise here, I mounted it in the center and I was able to do it. I was planning on having it on this side so I could see it better, but honestly it doesn't seem to matter. Let's see, am I past it? What's going on here? Where am I at with my cut? No, maybe I'm just hitting a high spot on that side. Am I slipping or something? What's going on here? Oh, okay, there it goes. I think I was slipping with the... It's like just a pressure sleeve for the down handle. It's like a little worm gear, and you just loosen the pressure on this little cone thing or something is, I think, the way that works. Yeah, I didn't think I was all the way to the bottom. But now, the way I have this mounted, I was worried about mounting it flat on there, and this ended up being my best solution with this vise. I think let's go through. Stick your finger in there and find out. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, let's see. Let's make sure that thing's not upholding us. Okay. So I believe this mounts in thousandths. Okay, so they'll take the brake off the side. Loosen it, this little... Yeah, I'm gonna try to shoot. I don't know. I'm gonna experiment here because I really don't know super how much of a cut I should be taking. I kind of need to see the dang marks because I got like 100 thousandths to take out, so it's 50 off of each side until it actually becomes, well, about what I really need. Okay. Oh, okay. The notches are in the bottom. Oh, look at this. I'm trying to look at the top. I shouldn't be looking at. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. What do you think? 3. Oh, wait a minute. Crap. Which way did I go? I was moving it out instead of pulling it in this way. So I've got to go back the other way, I think. Well, we'll find out. And if that's not right, I guess we'll try it again, won't we? See if these marks, how well they do. I'm like, well, I could maybe cut a dovetail and make a little chunk of metal and thread it or something, and maybe make one of these, and, you know. Well, I am going to make my own little fly cutter because I know people do that. I just thought this was just going to be too much for me, and I didn't want to bother with it. I got too many more important things to do. So, I just bought one. Bought it on eBay. I think it was only like 60, 70 bucks or something. So it was obviously how much money cheaper than the next one. I think it was like 20 bucks for 3-inch head. And I'm like I said, I gave you my explanation of what I thought was going to work better for me. And we don't want to gum things up because it's aluminum. I don't do a lot with aluminum. I like steel, so you have to kind of cut steel and work with steel stuff, not as much with aluminum, but Yeah, so this was all probably got hot. There was lack of lubrication. So there's all this galling, weird, gummed up, splotchy stuff with aluminum does. Because obviously the steel is harder than that. Alright, we made a pass. I'm going a little bit faster because I think I might take the last pass really slow. But I'm gonna, obviously we got a bit to play with and work with. So I don't know what I did there. It didn't feel like it cut 3,000s. But I might have moved it this way and then moved it back, so I introduced some backlash into the screw, and I may have only moved it like maybe like 1,000th or something, just something, you know. Okay, so okay, I think that should be like 3. Should be 3 this time. Let's see what man, it's kind of hitting a little bit of interrupted stuff. Like I said, it's cleaning it up. And I'm just trying to go through and just cut through this video so I don't talk too much. So I can try to make this the best entertaining video or whatever, so people can try to be learned, because that's what these videos are about. I'm just trying to be part of a machining community, you know. Damn tube in there is. I don't know if I gotta add more in there or something. I think I'm going the wrong way. Okay, so maybe I skim coated it, covered it, and then I backed it up and took less pressure off of it. Let me look. I'm making a from this side. Does it look like a okay, so no, it's not left-handed threads. It's threads to move that way. Okay, so I'm doing this weird bunch of screw-up stuff, but at least I got it figured out. Like I said, the first time my boring head, we get it figured out. One of the boring heads to do stuff like this, because I think that connecting rod would be really hard to mount up in the lathe chuck, and trying to clamp it and shift it around the way I have to with that lathe was not going to be the best in my interest, I think. Okay, so I was nearly at this mark at the 5, so I'm going to put it on this 40. So let's see what kind of a cut we get out of that. So hopefully moved it. I think I'm just going to try to go to, I'm going to try to aim for 5,000ths cuts. Well, if it'll really handle, I mean, it's aluminum versus carbide. I just don't want the damn thing to move around or catch and grab or do something, because I'm not real super experienced with this part of it. I'm just showing my experience with getting a new boring head and putting this on a connecting rod in the best bit of shape I am today after doing a medical procedure. So I probably shouldn't be out here, but that's okay. It's not like I do it all the time on that sounds more like a cut. What I should probably do is to zoom this in so you can see a little better. The best you can anyways, because Obviously, I can't go down the hole or anything with it. There's a house in the way. That's the hot. That's honestly, this is the highest with that camera stand. But at least I'm not holding it, so it don't look jittery and like crap, making people seasick. Yeah, it's starting to clean up real good compared to what it was. You can see the cut's going okay. I don't know if I should really try to put too much more of a cut or RPM or what. I've seen people go a bit slower than even this, but I thought with this small head and I'm not too super offset, so it's not going to cause too much of a vibration problem with it. Okay, so that may, I don't know, it could have been a full 5/1000 cut or not, but this next one definitely will be, because at least we know I'm still only cutting on the front and the back. It's like I said, it's still oval, and so getting where I get some cuts to where it's going to clean up pretty good, and we'll do this cut and see how we feel about it. I don't know if I should be going more, how much I should be taking depth of cut each time. Because, you know, really if I'm taking 5,000 on this dial, it's probably 5,000 that way. I should probably put a dial indicator on it and actually see if I thread it in, and if it only moves 5,000 here, but when I do that, it'll take 5,000 from each side and cause it to be a 10,000 opened up hole. I'm going to try to go a little faster. Let's try 700 RPMs. Yeah, no, that's a little much. No, maybe not. Oh, that's 800 right there. I'm going to see what that does. That way, if I'm going a little bit faster, it should be able to compensate, because I don't have a power down feed. I'm doing it by hand. Halfway down and a bunch of it's going at the bottom. Maybe measure it from the back. It's maybe getting under the sides a little bit. I don't know. I tried to center everything up the best I could. I think I did really good. I used a wiggler with the indicator and got everything, you know, however best it is. If I get a little bit off one side or the other, it'll, you know, it's still all the weight at the bottom compared to the piston and the reciprocating mass, I think. bottom. Okay, I want to pause this for a minute to at least get set up. I want to measure it. I just want to see where I'm at and stuff. Okay, it's a good thing I was checking and everything, because honestly I'm like 3 thousandths away from target. So, and I was probably measuring, maybe I was like, oh, I got 100 thousandths to take out of there, 50 out of each side, but I might have been on some high spots, and overall, when it cut in there and cleared out a couple of high spots that I might have been measuring on, it might screwed me up. Most of this is all cleaned up except maybe a little bit on the sides. It actually has like a little split and like chamfers on the side. It's not completely smooth like regular connecting rods are for, say, an engine. But they also put the bearings in there, so it doesn't really matter. They don't need the. But this has got to be like a spot to hold oil and stuff, I'm assuming. So I am going to try to do. Let's see, should I do 1 or 1.5? I think that's actually. I'm going to try to do a 1.5 because it's about. It's still, I think that only puts me 2 thousandths over target. So I'm going to try to do. Okay, 1.5 right there. And that'll give me 3, because I think I said it was about 124, and so can maybe see where I feel like after this cut, if I want to try to dial in, if I can, 0.5 thousandth on this dial, and or 5/10ths, whatever you call it, tenths, 10 thousandths, tenths. And see if that'll give me another. I don't know. I'm just gonna see what happens with this cut. I'm gonna try to start bringing up either in that gap, that oiling groove here on the sides. Put the cutting piece in it so it won't drag on the way up. Put the cut marks on the way back up. Okay, I see it's starting to find them sides a little bit more. Might be able to clean it up. I don't know. On the bottom, it looks like it is anyways. Which is kind of cool, actually. And having one cutting point that makes perfect circle. One tool that does this. Not that you probably haven't seen a bunch of stuff, but I'm just showing my version of running a boring head while I'm fixing a connecting rod on my air compressor. And while I'm doing it this way, I'm turning it slower and taking finer cuts so I can actually Not have a deafening sound in my ears either. So if I feel like I need to say something, I don't know. Maybe that's my problem. I always like to just narrate a bit when I'm doing something. I'm doing this, is what I'm trying to do. You know, if it's supposed to be for community stuff, I just think that that's what maybe it kind of should be or something. Because if you're trying to show somebody else, this is what I went through and learn something, that hopefully get something out of it. To, you know, kind of have a entertainment part of the aspect of the video, but okay, well, actually, crap, I'm going to move this up all the way out of the way and start doing a really good measurement. One of my next project is to make a better base for this again. Okay, I'm going to pause. Okay, this is going to be the final cut. I want to put another 1,000th in there. Well, it might have been about 1.5-ish, but I'm actually at 125. I did some more accurate readings just so I can try to get any discrepancies or anything out. So I'm at 125, so I'm going to try to put about 2 to 3 thousandths more in. I might go over my target depending on how I got it on that notch, but I should still be okay. But I'm going to record this, and I was going to not do it because I don't want the video to be too long, and I'm probably going to edit anyways. So